Hey, Reliability Gang, I'm Jonathan Guiney.
And I'm Brendon Russ, and welcome to Reliability Radio, a JLL production and ReliabilityWeb.com media brand.
So, Brendon, we come to these events, we see the expo, you and I just walked down there for a couple minutes, a lot of great technology out there, a lot of great people helping to navigate all things technology.
And I like going down there and looking at solution providers, and they're becoming a little more intricate, a little more what I would call hand in glove with understanding the practical applications of, say, Maximo, the Maximo suite, or just any EAM system, of how technicians in the field should be using that technology to make it easier for them. I'm constantly amazed by how we talk about mobile applications and trying to get it, and how we're embedding AI to make it easier and easier to get to, and knowing that we keep doing that because we keep having problems with it, right? If it was so easy,
getting the tech to pick up the device is the first one.
Oh, you would think.
So I'm really excited today. We have Louis Innocent from EAM 360. Louis, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks, Jonathan. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Why don't you tell us a little bit about you yourself, kind of your role within the organization and what EAM 360 does?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm Louis Innocent. I'm a business development manager with EAM 368, take care of the North American geography. So EAM 360 is a product developed and owned by a company called Sedent Technologies. So we are in this asset management space for close to 10 years, and this product has been built with a lot of, I would say, specifically around user feedback, and we have been deploying this for industries and several clients across the US and across the globe. Excited to be here.
That's awesome. So why don't we talk a little bit about mobile solutions, right? You know, we had a quick little preamble to this conversation today. You're pretty passionate about mobile solutions. You know, I think the funny stories are where mobile solutions going wrong. So why don't you tell us what you're seeing out there?
Yeah, so since we've been in this space and we interact with people who have the right intentions of leveraging mobile the right way, but they put it in the hands of people who actually need to use it so that you realize the actual ROI out of these implementations. So that is where typical challenges come in, and they call it adoption. User adoption is where you have face hiccups. Some have the right reasons, some have obvious reasons, but some other ways, there's real no motivation among user groups, end users, where they feel hesitant to pick up the phone and use it, and rather they use the traditional way of going about things and using tribal knowledge. And there's a lot of leakages, data leakages, cost leakages that end up happening simply because mobile is not being leveraged efficiently.
Is that just general lack of buy-in, like it was just pressed upon them, or nobody asked them what they need to do, or like what are you seeing? Is it a little of both, or is there a leading cause?
Yeah, I think it's a good chunk of their career they've not been using it so far. They still feel they've been doing what they are supposed to do every day. But what they fail to realize is as they leave the organization, say they retire, the knowledge that they have been leveraging needs to be also retained by the organization so that newcomers who come into the space can readily access that information. And younger folks are actually excited to use mobile. They use mobile in their day-to-day life, and they rather feel human contact, like going and talking to a supervisor or having something printed out, typed out, and then input into the system is unnecessary, and they actually know the advantage of this. For them to actually leverage the solution better, they need all of this knowledge from their senior supervisors, people who have been doing that for a while, people who might have even fed the asset information to the system, what they've been doing on assets for decades together. So retaining that information is what is needed, but people are still hesitant.
Is it really, so we're talking about this older generation that I've been doing it this way for 30 years, why am I going to change? Is this really just as simple as just trying to get the what's in it for me for them?
Yeah, it's more to do that because they signed up for actually doing physical maintenance, and they feel that job is anyway being done. The before and after of retrieving information about what work needs to be done, and the post of updating what I have done is something that they feel is rudimentary, or even a mobile app is not needed, and other mediums of maybe physical paperwork can be useful for that.
I had this conversation actually as early as yesterday, this specific conversation about people that have more experience in the industry and people that have less, right? And just to your point, the newer generation that's coming out, the ones that are less experienced, we'll say, are looking to ChatGPT. They're looking to AI solutions. They're looking at all that. They're asking about how do they leverage that in a maintenance environment. And then you have the more experienced generation that has that greater level of experience. Like you said, it's that silver tsunami. It's going to walk out the door in the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years.
Yes.
You've got to figure out how do you marry that more experienced generation with that least experienced generation. And one of the things that we talked about was, how can you get Tim to go out there and get all of his information out of his head, out of his notebook, out of all of his desk drawers, and put it in one central repository, right? And we said, well, Tim doesn't mind sitting on a Teams call. Tim will actually talk to people on Teams. Why don't we have a Teams call that transcribes all this information, puts it into an AI chatbot, and builds procedures for us, right? So I think that's a great interconnection point where we can start talking about how do we take that and then use that to enhance the mobile, because now you've got all those procedures for the next guy and that next generation.
Right. I think a good chunk of this happens offline. Offline first is what mobility brings as an advantage, and where we see effectiveness of this is that reducing the need for physically touching the device, talking to the device, speech to text, or more AI summarizations, which are becoming simpler these days. So we are trying to make it as easy as just tapping on the mic or saying, "Hey Siri," take a log of what I'm just saying, and that is fed into the system. We even try and reduce the number of taps that they do, gestures that they do, unlocking, remove their glove. All of this is something that we're trying to eliminate to make sure that you speak to the system, you just maybe do a couple of taps, or you just authenticate yourself and start recording information. So, and technology is helping us do that. AI, Siri, and other formats of advancements are enabling this. And there are other ways, if someone is not familiar with that language, like English is not the comfortable, we try and localize it. Okay, which language are you comfortable doing it? So there are certain things that we make it more approachable. And I think motivation from, others within their group, who depend on the system is also helping them slowly start using mobile better.
Yeah, Brendon mentioned what's in it for them, right? I think that more experienced generation has that sense of ownership and pride in the work that they've done, right? It's a different generation and time that they come from, and most of them want to give back, right? But they also want the respect that comes with it. Right. So, bridging that gap through technology, if we can, to support that younger, less experienced generation is going to be huge.
So in the applications that you're developing, you just talked about voice to chat and everything else. What other types of features that you're getting into your applications to try to help draw that out or make that more easier, like you said?
We do it as simple as that, you don't need to go to your office. I mean, mobile does that, right? You get push notifications. You don't need to even open the app to know what is being assigned for you. You get notified on top of the day. And then you open it up and everything is right there. Hey, this is what you need to do for the day. This is your criticality order. And we have integrated with maps. It gives you GIS coordinates, and it also is based on criticality. You might have work orders which are closer for you, but with a lesser priority, farther away, which are more priority. So it actually maps out your entire day. You do that, it's completely offline. So recording labor time. You can even go ahead and look at planned material so that you walk up to the storeroom, it's already ready. You just pack it in and say, once you leverage it, you use it. Or if you have something in your satellite storeroom or within your van, which you're going to use for that particular work order, you have unplanned materials to also record it. You don't need to really worry, I'm going to use this, how this is going to be documented. No, the system does provide it. And there are other features like, recording logs with audio, taking a video capture of that, and then taking images of the work done. So, and then there are workflows. Hey, I'm done with this work. You can just tap on the status and say it's completed. It's going to move away from your list. Or if you notice something next to those assets, you can just simply go and capture an image and create a ticket of that. Or if you feel that, hey, there's something wrong with this asset, but this work has not necessarily been assigned to me, you can just walk up to that. You can scan the QR code next to it. It's going to retrieve all open work orders. You can self-assign it to and execute it yourself. So there's a lot of wide variety of features that are incorporated and which come out of the box in the app to help you do this.
So let's go back into the challenges within mobile devices. If we're going to give some imparting wisdom from your perspective, what you see it day in and day out, different clients, all those things, what are some of those things that are the reasons why these implementations don't go as well as they could?
I think involving these end users very early in the day is very critical. To tell them, hey, this is what we're going to do, and this is how much of we are going to do, and what do you think about it? And then showing them physically how the solution is going to look like. Not during UAT and not during training, even during evaluation. Say, this is how the solution is going to look like. This is how much of it is going to support out of the box. Hey, do you feel that something, should I add more validation? Should I do something more for you right away? You can either do it while you write your RFP or during your evaluation phase. They can talk with vendors, hey, this is how well I like it, my crew likes it. And we can even, slice and dice it for different user groups. Hey, based on the user profile, this is how they go about it. And you'll also have to be prepared during go live. There are going to be some teething issues. Okay.
So it's more about a cooperation, making sure that they're involved, feeling that sense of ownership of what comes out at the very end, making sure that it addresses their concerns so that they'll actually say, I helped make it this way, and I need to make sure that it works because I helped make it.
Or now you got to live with it.
Yeah, right?
Exactly.
So wonderful. Thank you for that. Is there any words of wisdom or tidbits for the listeners out there?
Right. I think AI is something that's just very hard these days. So two ways of looking at AI. One is how AI can be used to make their user experience better, and also a realization of how critical the data that is captured in mobile. It's kind of the last mile of fully utilizing AI because data, garbage in, garbage out. So you need quality data to be sent into the system so that AI is fully leveraged as an organization. At the point of impact, data needs to be recorded. And mobile is the best medium for that. So for organizations to fully leverage AI, technicians need to be fully equipped with mobile, and that streamlines data quality, and that in turn, helps you take better decisions with AI and, to become an AI-ready organization. So since this is what is going on these days, I wanted to just add a flavor that, how mobile plays a role in overall AI ecosystem and reliability too.
Well said, well stated. Well, thank you, Mr. Innocent, for your time today, joining us here on Reliability Radio. And for all you listeners out there, we will catch you next time.